So the third day of the Perth test is done, and we are back for the review. And to be honest, it was one of those like feel good Sundays because like everything which India tried to do worked for them. I mean, like getting bowled out for 150 and then like getting Australia three down at stumps on day three in Perth. Like it's kind of what dreams are made of from an Indian cricket fan's point of view. Like especially in the first test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy down under. So I mean, amazing scenes in there. Like Yashasvi Jaiswal scoring a daddy 100, which he has made a like habit of doing. He doesn't score like mini centuries. He scores the 150s, 160s, and doubles. So great for him. Let him carry on. And the big one, Virat Kohli. I mean, like all cricket fans basically love watching him. Like he was missing out on those test hundreds like in the last year or so. So I mean, it's a very like emotional, feel good, happy moment like for every cricket fan. I feel like just that. I mean, and Bumrah back with the 3 wickets at the end of the day make it completely India's day. They should wrap up this test tomorrow. Like probably how things are going. Maybe by the first session tomorrow the match can be over, or maybe in the second session. So who knows? But yeah, so I've got Pranav with me here. So welcome. And so just over to you. So what are your thoughts on the day, Kohli, Jaiswal? So overall, what's your thoughts?
I think it was an incredible day of cricket. You just want to pay some
Right.
price to watch such cricket. Perhaps I think if I say it in my terms, it's just like I pay my bills for this sort of day. Perhaps because it's just amazing that how calculative they were throughout these two sessions. Then they sort of realized that we need to up the ante a bit. Uh, and then once Nitish Kumar Reddy came in, it's
Right.
just super fun watching that last hour and a half.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it just looked that they wanted to declare and Kohli to be in a hundred. So I think all of that just counts so beautifully that you realize that what means this 100 means to Kohli, perhaps. Because if you look at that, I'm not going to talk a lot about Jaiswal because this is phenomenal. We can talk about him a little later, but from the context of the game, how important was it to actually for Kohli to bat because you were in sort of a mini collapse, 3 for 8 in those 18 balls when Cummins struck twice and Line got punt out stump. So you sort of needed a partnership. Credit to Washington Sundar to be, very focused and applied on that, and just be stitching a partnership. Just ensuring that um you look at the game, taking it deeper. So had that partnership not happened between Sundar and Kohli, might have been looking at 470 odd because those 60 runs matter. So that's sort of an gamble when you take. It pays off, and then suddenly the bowling attack doing really well. Bumrah picking up Labuschagne. It's all in all a perfect day. I'm not looking forward to what happens tomorrow because uh, that'll be too much to say that they'll wrap this up in 2 sessions, etc. We just wait for what happens. So yeah, I mean, very happy indeed how the day has gone.
True, very true. So it's like it's one of those days you, as an Indian cricket fan, you don't want it to end. It's like such a like something unimaginable given how we came to Australia and the mental state we were in as a team and everything with the whitewash and everything. So I mean, so that I kind of one thing also I would say is that like Test cricket is very competitive at this moment. Like people are beating teams at their homes away. Like it's not that predictable right now as it was maybe 1 or 2 years back. So that's something good for the global cricket as well. So teams are becoming competitive. It's tough to predict like properly. So that's good news for the overall health of the game, I feel. But so coming to this particular match, so I think were you like happy with the declaration at the end of the today's, or would you wanted to like just exhaust them further and then like maybe later tomorrow you wanted to declare?
I mean, it doesn't matter to be honest, because I understand why India declared because they just want to exploit that, those legs which were tired, and then give them those 10 tricky minutes or 20 tricky minutes, and they did succeed in that. So eventually it's all good. Even if they had declared tomorrow morning, I would have had no complaints, because 500, once you cross, it's just such a mountain to
Right.
climb. I mean, the last chase that happened, that too in a losing cause in fourth innings, was Pakistan in Gabba 2016, 450 all
Right.
up.
Right.
They lost chasing 490. So that's the benchmark that they have been set. So once you cross that 400 mark, it's always taxing, with the ball doing a little bit, the new ball seaming around, the softer ball staying up and down. So it's just a matter of time that by when India declares, or by when India gets pulled out, and then Australia comes on to bat. Obviously, there are odd chances of some uncertainties happening, saying, look, Steve Smith will play an absolute blinder of an innings with a double hundred or something of that sort. But all that said, I think 500 is always a mental challenge that you have to overcome, and especially when you have 3 wickets down for 12, it again becomes a bigger problem. So yeah, all stars aligning towards a 1-0, but I'd like to still wait and see what happens tomorrow, because don't rule Australia out.
Yeah, I mean, like, but I think like 500 is like, it takes the pitch out of the equation as well. I mean, even in the flattest of tracks, I think 500 is far too much. Even if we two or three players play blinders, then also I feel it's like a too much of a target. But as you said, like we should wait and not get overexcited or something, because like funny things have happened in this game. And also like recently, if we see Edgbaston and all those things, India have lost bowling in the fourth innings. Like people have been chasing down 300 plus runs against them. So
No, I
hopefully,
mean,
like, yeah.
Edgbaston was entirely different. Edgbaston had eased out enough that they could chase that total, and Bairstow was in a different form. But in here, Australia's lineup is a little fragile. Now you've got into the middle order with Usman Khawaja at one end. So if you
Right.
get one more wicket, you're looking at Marsh, Carey, uh, and then probably the tail enders, because Cummins has got out. So yeah, I mean, I'll be very interested to see how Sundar is operated, because now the ball is just new. I mean, it's just 4 5 overs old. But as the innings progresses, if at all Cummins and Khawaja have a partnership, how Sundar brought in, what are the plans, etc. Because that will set a tone for the series, right? Because I sort of like the banter between Siraj and Labuschagne. I
Yeah.
wish something of that sort happens, because there is Harshit Rana to bowl. Siraj is bowling well. So yeah, I mean, again, all stars have aligned towards India's victory, but there's a job to be done. There are 7 wickets to be picked. So until the
True.
last wicket falls, let's just not jump the gun too early, because back, you know, odd things have happened. Cricket has surprised us. So yeah, I'll keep saying it again. Let's just take it like a game, like a day, and not celebrate too early.
True, fair enough. So let's come to Australian bowling for a bit. So do you think it was incredibly amazing batting from the Indian bats, top order and everyone, or do you think that Australia bowled a bit short or full? Or what's your take on the Aussie bowling performance on this pitch? Like letting India score 487. I don't think that's a fair reflection of how the pitch is behaving. I think like 400 is not something this pitch can, like, it should be scored on this pitch if you bowl in the right areas and stuff. So what's your take on that?
I think it's coming from yesterday's backlog, perhaps, because Australia, if you look at their plans right from the morning, they were trying to bowl it short. They had enough plans. I'm not denying that fact. But
Mm.
the problem with Australia was that they couldn't recover from that fact. They are put down at 172, which is effectively
True.
218 for no loss. So from there to actually come back, it takes a special effort. They didn't have enough plans, but India had enough plans to not give wickets to Cummins and Lyon enough, because in the last tour, Cummins was the player of the game, player of the series, because he picked up heaps of wickets. He's a relentless hit the deck bowler, as we speak on Twitter. So uh, for him to have enough plans, enough rotation of bowlers, because it's different when you're playing as a player under somebody like a Tim Payne or another captain like Steve Smith. But when you yourself are a captain and a bowler, it's a different challenge. A lot of people are vouching for fast bowling captains, but it's a different challenge. You have to manage your own workload. You have to ensure the other pacers or the other bowlers are not taxed enough. So after a point, it started seeming like they've given up because Labuschagne was bowling those negative
Right.
lines towards the end. Head was coming on, Lyon was, turning the ball enough, but not enough to actually scare the batters. So it was sort of the mental game that India was playing that was working on Australia. So the grass had dried out. It was luckily that India could grab. I mean, the Stark Hazelwood partnership yesterday was actually a timely one, perhaps, because it just eased out the wicket a little bit,
Right.
uh, where you could exploit. Once you see off that new ball, you could exploit, score runs, and Jaiswal effect was too much on Australia because they just had no ways to get him out, and eventually got off a pathetic ball of Mitch Marsh, crashing it to Steve Smith on backward point. So yeah, I mean, that sort of hitting or that sort of composure when somebody shows you end up as lack of plans. So that's where I think it sort of cost Australia. They don't have enough backup options. I think they missed Cam Green, as I mentioned yesterday. Uh, they don't have enough backup options to rely on. So all these things, counts on a bad day, because I saw Josh Hazelwood's press conference after the game. He was so tired. I mean, that's how it reflects on. He was asked, what do you expect the batters to do? He said, just go ask them. I was just getting a massage. I don't know what was happening. So it was that sort of mental game that we wanted India to play on Australia, so that they just I mean, mentally give up that, you know we don't have a way on this test match back. So I think India have succeeded on that a bit, and that's why you reflect on sort of bad bowling performance. Not that bad, not up to the standards as Australia would like to, because Stark bowled a lot of overs, Cummins bowled a lot of overs, eventually came out as night watchman, then Siraj got him. So all sorts of things happening for Australia. Not enough opening partnerships in the last test or so. So yeah, there are certain things that Australia need to focus on, but at the same time, India can hunch on to those things. And this test victory actually sets the series up beautifully.
Very true, very true. So I mean, starting a 1-0 in Perth, especially Perth, is the key here. I think it's a very a significant factor in this test series going ahead, because let's remember the last two test matches are in Melbourne and Sydney, where India were supposed to be doing okayish, but since they have
Yeah.
started off so good in this one, so I mean the next two test matches become extremely crucial as well. So the Adelaide and the Gabba one, especially the ping ball test. So that's a bit of uncertainty, to be honest. Like nobody kind of can predict what happens over there. So anyways, so I think Rohit Sharma is also coming back for that and everything. So it was a so exciting cricketing days to look forward to, and exciting cricketing day to look forward to tomorrow as well, seeing what happens with the ball. We are all hoping for the an easy Indian victory. So, and also, like, before wrapping up, so also kudos to Nitish Reddy, sorry. So I mean, like, I've not seen enough of him in first class cricket, and he has also not been a very experienced first class player. Like, he has been playing in the plate matches in the Ranji Trophy as well. But I mean, what I have seen of him today and also in the first innings, I'm yet to see him bowl properly. I mean, he got only 1 or 2 overs, but with the bat, he has absolutely impressed me properly. I mean, if he can be worked on a bit more, I think he can be a proper that counter attacking lower order batsman even in home conditions for Indian cricket. I mean, that's I mean, kudos to him. So let's see how that shapes up. So anything you want to add, or we wrap up? Cool. Anything you want
Yeah,
to
I
add?
think I think Nitish Kumar Reddy is a good prospect. I say that with all my fingers crossed, because generally pace bowling all rounders in tests have not worked well for India. Um, but the
Right.
problem here, or the only problem that I see with Nitish is how many overs can he bowl? Because he's bowled a plenty in Ranji. He's bowled enough in IPL. He's already bowled a few versus Bangladesh in T20Is. So the use of him will be the key, because in the next test, maybe he'll be needed, maybe he'll not be needed. A lot of combination issues that are going on already, because I personally feel Rohit should move down the order, uh,
Same, same,
because
same.
you don't tinker with the opening combination
True,
too
true.
much.
Absolutely.
But there are opinions that okay, this is just one game, you bring back your regular players, etc. But that's before the next test. We'll look at it later on. But I think Nitish Kumar Reddy is a fine prospect, but I think number 8 is tad too low for him. You could actually move him and drop Sundar or whoever the spinner is down, because pretty sure one spinner plays always. Uh, you could also send him. I think what I could have done is I could have sent Nitish at number 3 instead of Padikal when KL Rahul
Okay.
felt of reach uh, of Mitch Stark. But yeah, I mean they stuck to the usual batting order, so no issues of that. Padikal also did well, but Nitish Kumar Reddy, especially with the bat, is very decent. But against the moving ball, he has the issues of throwing away the bat, edging one of the slips of the keeper. So that needs to be rectified. But other than that, he's a fabulous prospect. He's shown his hitting game, so he has both ears. So yeah, I just hope that this prospect works, because there's a very important England tour coming up where he could be super useful because he can swing that ball. So looking forward, I think Reddy looks set. So yeah, let's just hope that everything goes all right.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's all what we had for today. Also, like tomorrow, also we will be back with the day 4 review as well. I mean, hoping India wraps up the game by then or not, whatever we'll see. So thanks all for watching this, and see you soon. Bye.